been long since I have been interacting with all of you. So today I thought of interacting with a very unique and a common topic which is being discussed these days. The topic is budget. So I thought before going on to the policies, to the highlights of budget, I should make a small video where I tell you the insights of budget, what a budget is, who makes a budget, and what are the objectives of budget. So let us start. Basically, the budget is made by the finance minister. Currently, the finance minister is Nirmala Sitharaman. Now, of course, it is a well-known fact, if you make a report or if you make any document, it is not done in a single day or single night. It takes hours of practice, hours of discussion, and hours of checking, and after that one final document is processed and finalized. So of course our budget is not a one-day thing, it is the discussion which takes place since month. So it has been assumed, and from the media report it has been told that the budget 2021 was first discussed on December 14 with the industrial experts. Now your question would be, why industrial experts? Of course, because they have a lot, they are a basic component of the capital market. If the budget has to be made, then of course the discussion from the capital market stakeholders and of course from the industrial experts has to be done. So on December 14, Nirmala Sitharaman along with the stakeholders and industrial experts had a short discussion. Now come on to Ministry of Finance. Of course, the finance minister is the head of Ministry of Finance. Now it is a fact that all the ministries have certain departments under them. A ministry is a block, and then there are several blocks, or you may say the constituents of ministry. So there are many departments in Ministry of Finance. One of them is Department of Economic Affairs. And this is the very same department which is responsible for making the budget. There are certain departments, but this department name is Department of Economic Affairs. This is the department which is responsible for making the budget, which is also known as the union budget, which is usually passed annually. Now this union budget in the constitution is not named as a union budget. The real name of union budget in the constitution is annual financial statement. Now why is it annual? Because it is released every year, and every year the budget has to be changed depending on the expenditure and revenue. Of course, if the revenue is more, then the new budget is going to be in favor of the revenue or considering the past revenue or expenditure. So this union budget is referred to as, the real name through which union budget is referred is annual financial statement. Financial statement means a copy of all the revenue and expenditure that took place in the past year. Now this is not a single team work. It is not only the Ministry of Finance whose contribution is taken into the union budget. It is group of teams. Now who are those teams? Number one, Ministry of Finance, it is the sole team responsible for it. Second is Niti Aayog, and third is spending ministries. Other ministries also, they also have their input or they also have their say during the union budget. Now, as I told you in the starting, it's not a one-day process, it's not a one-week process, neither it is a one-month process. It takes around 6 to 7 months of continuous redressals, continuous discussions, research, and then final judgment is done. So it basically starts from August or September, probably 6-7 months before the financial year ends. Now let us know more about Finance Ministry. What are the constituents? Who all are the members of Finance Ministry? So as I told you, every ministry has got certain departments beneath them. So Finance Ministry has also got a lot of departments. There are many ministries. First of all, this ministry has got multiple ministries, and these ministries have multiple departments below them. It is like a hierarchy. Right now we are studying the hierarchical structure of Finance Ministry. This ministry has multiple ministries below them. These multiple ministries have multiple departments below them, and these multiple departments have field officers. The lowest level here would be the field officers. Now what is done is a circular is made. Suppose if I am a teacher and I have to take the feedback from students, from parents, from the management whatsoever. So I design a form in which I will add certain attributes and I will ask people to judge me on those attributes. Similarly, when a budget is made, so there is a form which is known as a budget circular. A kind of a circular, a form, a proper form is made in which certain attributes are mentioned, which of course are not known to us. They are decided by the Ministry of Finance and then they are given to the ministries. The finance ministries, they share that circular through these multiple ministries. Now these multiple ministries will give their feedback and again transfer that circular to the various departments. Now these departments will give their feedback or suggestion or the details which are required. They will fill the required details and they will again forward it to the field officers. The field officers will finally put down all the requirements that they have. Suppose there is a child ministry who's taking care of all the child health care, child education policies, etc. So they will put what kind of revenue, how much revenue are they expecting, how much revenue they had already. All the details will be matched, cross-checked, compared, and that final thing will be decided. So the same hierarchy that follows from top to bottom. When the form is being submitted, the same hierarchy is formed from bottom to top. The field officers will fill the circular and hand it over to the department will give it to the ministries, and this final ministry, the multiple ministries will give it to the one single finance ministry. And after that, sitting with there is a lot of, after the finance ministry receive that form or the circular, they sit with CBDT, which is Central Board of Direct Taxes, and CBEC, which is Central Board of Excise Custom. These two are basically related to tax, and they can even suggest how much tax has to be imposed, how much revenue can we get out of imposing tax. So certain things, these two bodies sit with finance minister and then a final budget is formed and printed and shared with the citizens of our nation. Now this is the process that a budget undergoes or goes through. But why do we make a budget? Why is it required? Why is a budget released every year? What is the importance of it? If a budget is not released, what impact would we have? Or what difference would it make? Now we are going to cover that topic. See, the budget main, first and foremost reason of making a budget is reallocation of resources. Now we have a lot of resources. The resources are not governed by the citizens of the country or the nation. The resources have to be distributed and are governed by the government. The government takes responsibility of the resources, they own the resources, and now the distribution of resources has to be wisely planned. How much resources we are going to give them, how much resources we are going to this particular ministry. So that reallocation has to be done. I have written a very simple example, for example, tobacco. Now suppose tobacco is banned and the government decide tobacco is of course a resource. So if they decide to put a tax on tobacco, suppose the government puts a tax on tobacco, what is going to happen? There are two things. First is a social welfare. Social welfare means something which is beneficial for the society. If the government has banned tobacco, of course the number of people consuming that will suddenly reduce. So this step taken by the government will be in the social welfare of people. How come they are gaining profit by imposing tax? Of course, with certain amount of people who will restrict themselves from eating tobacco or consuming tobacco, there will be certain amount of people who will be drug addicts or tobacco addicts. So they will go and they will purchase it no matter how much the tax is. So in a way, small portion of the country, a small portion of our people only, they are giving us profit through tax. They are paying the tax, they are giving the amount, they are giving everything which the government wants. So the first sole purpose of reallocating resources is so that the resources are distributed accordingly and it solves the purpose of social or economic welfare, and also it gives you some profit. Now the second is inequality of income. Now it is very important to divide money. Of course, if I am the head of any organization and I give all money to one of my manager and I give less salary to other managers, it is an inequality. It is an inequality, and that kind of organization would not run proper because there is no perfect balance. There will be disputes, there will be fight. So likewise, in the ministries, they can have fight between the resources or money given to them or the income given to them. So the budget is planned in a way that the rich people have to pay more tax and the poor people have to pay less tax. Now, what is the benefit of it? Why are we taking more tax on rich people and less tax on the poor people? The reason is the tax that will be given by the rich people, that will in return be given to the poor people. Whatever money is collected through the tax of rich people, of course, if they have huge salaries, then huge amount of tax is to be taken. So that particular amount is given to the poor people. The amount, same amount which is collected from the rich people is again distributed to the poor people. So in this way, there is a balance. They are not giving the money directly to the poor people, but they are consuming it, taking it from the rich people and distributing it to the lower class or to the people whose wage is less than a normal wage. Economic stability. Economic stability can best be explained with inflation and deflation. So inflation means when the demand is more than the supply. That means the supply is more and the demand is less. Economic stability can be best explained with two examples. Number one is inflation. When demand rises for any particular product or resource and the supply is less. That means the government do not have that much of supply to give, but the people demand is rising. So what kind of a budget will be formed? The government will allocate less money so that when people come to know that there is a less amount of money, less amount of resource, so the demand will automatically reduce and supply will be balanced. But if in case the demand is really less and the supply is more, then in that case the government is going to put more money into the budget so that more people come and they run in the market, they take the money, and then the supply and demand are both balanced. So inflation and deflation, these are two reasons depending on which a budget is made so that there is economic stability as well. The demand and supply are adequate. They are not less and they are not more. Public enterprises are basically organizations which are already funded by the government. There are certain organizations who are funded by the government. So the budget has to be made keeping in mind how much money has to be given to them, because government is funding them. So they have to put them, they have to consider these enterprises in the budget also, because certain amount of money, certain amount of budget will be given to them also, because their funding has to be taken care of. So a budget is important because these enterprises are being run by the government funding. The last is regional disparity. Disparity means inequality, or where the things are not equal. Suppose there is a region where they have a lot of resources, lot of money, lot of industries, and on the contrary there is another region where there is less money, less of resources, less of infrastructure. So what the budget will be? The budget will balance that regional disparity. Like in one area, if there is less of infrastructure, so they will put that region into the budget, or they will allocate resources into that place where there is disparity, so that the regional disparity is no longer there.